So uh that was ugly. That game, I don't really even know what to say, honestly, because it just was a mess of bad mistakes at horrible times.
Hmm.
That snap over Gino's head after that interception, or wait, no, was that before that?
It's hard
Either
to remember.
and then when we got the interception and didn't score out of that is unacceptable. So just a lot of things that you want to just flush, I feel like, after this game. I mean,
Yeah.
I know teams, these games are bound to happen. Um, Nothing really good to say from what we saw. I mean, you were there, so why don't you give me your little spin on what you saw live and in person from that defense that couldn't stop anything, including the run.
So my biggest takeaway is the 12th man, the mystique, the lore of Seattle having a legit home field advantage is all but gone. It's kind of been gone for a while. We are now 15-15 in our last 30 home games. And anecdotally, as a fan that's been going to these games since 2009, the crowd noise is not nearly as loud as it used to be. And the amount of Bills fans that showed up to this game and opposing teams fans that are showing up in general is shocking. It was as loud when we were on offense nearly in the first quarter. I've never been in the stadium. Granted, it's been about 2 years since I've been to a game. So first and foremost, not only did the Bills out execute us and kick our ass in every way on the field, they also did better than us in the crowd. So just utter humiliation, offense, defense, special teams, and fandom.
Well,
It,
I
it's
saw.
a it's a complete ass whooping in every measurable way. It's bad.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the clip after the game of Josh Allen talking with Aaron Andrews, and he
No, I
like
didn't.
he she was interviewing and he interrupted her and he was like, "Sorry, can we just acknowledge how awesome Bills Mafia is?" And they like at our stadium they were
Yeah, I
making
mean
that kind of noise.
they were awesome. Like, let's be objective. The Bills Mafia is the real deal. They showed there was Bills fans everywhere at this game. It was crazy. Most annoyingly, I was with my uncle and cousin who are Bills fans, so they were letting me have it all day. Um, but I guess more tangible things than the crowd impact. This first half really in a functional, like non-insane mistake-making team world, the Seahawks would have been up like 14-7, 14-10 at half in this game. They got that huge interception off Josh Allen. It's ran back all the way to like the 4-yard line or something. We were inside the 2-yard line twice in the first half in this game. And I want to say I don't think they came away with points either time. Or the one time they ended up with the field goal. Sorry, excuse me. But that's that's ridiculous. You should be getting 2 touchdowns in that situation. Like that's what should be expected when you're inside the 2-yard line. And what's crazy is you had both chances to score there utterly destroyed by Connor Williams. One guy alone snapping the ball over Gino's head, and not just over his head, but like 4 feet over his head. Like it was, I've never seen a worse snap. It's the worst snap I've seen since the Broncos starting off Super Bowl 48.
That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah. And then you had him getting blown back so badly on a run play on the 4th down that he just steps on Gino's foot and trips him before he can even hand the ball off. It's like comically bad center play in 2 critical situations. And you also compound that with Josh Allen fumbling the ball for no reason and kicking it, and somehow our guy's not getting it. I don't know how that happened. And even with all those horrible mistakes, we're only down, I believe, 10-3, or not even 10-3. We were down 7-3 at one point in deep into the second quarter of this game. And we stopped the Bills on 3rd and 7. Then you have Derek Hall hitting Josh Allen in the head for no reason way after he's let go of the ball. So the Bills get a free first down after that and end up scoring, making it 14-3 at half. And essentially after that, I was like, this game's over. We had like four big opportunities in this game to make it a close game, even be winning at half. And then I think, things could have been different. But playing from behind against this Bills team, especially with the way our defense is playing right now, is virtually impossible. And we absolutely self defecated every time we had a chance to seize momentum in this game.
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal is with, I think as far as what we were talking about initially with the crowd, I think the games are just too damn expensive and people aren't, wanting to pay top dollar to watch a team that they
Right.
know is not a contender. But besides that, this team just doesn't play well at home. It's mystifying. Like, look at the execution they played with on
Well,
offense
Ryan, that's what
last
I was
week.
gonna say. Was
Okay, go
I
ahead.
felt like this game was just one after the other, lack of execution, and combine that with the bad mistakes at the worst times. Like
Yeah,
I thought the last play of the game for us, the muffed punt,
it
was
was
like the
perfect.
cherry on top of how the game was going all day.
Yeah, yeah, it
And
really was.
yeah, and I don't know.
Also,
I
side note, get D Williams off the team, man. He's done that twice now. It should have cost us the 49ers game earlier than we ended up losing, but he's not doing it back there. And he's letting a lot of balls bounce inside the 10 when he needs to catch them. So, anyways, continue with what you're saying.
yeah, that was pretty much it. Was the narrative of the game for me was lack of execution and bad mistakes, unnecessary mistakes, like the Derek Hall thing. You just can't have that happen. That's unacceptable. And he's a young player. I don't imagine he'll be. I think that one will probably stick with him, or maybe he'll forget about it because we were getting our asses beat so bad all day that we'll just flush it, like I said. But um, yeah, I just where we go from here is, I mean, I I can't say I'm surprised sitting here today looking at the box score 31-10 when we couldn't stop the run. James Cook 17 carries, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns. That can't happen. Um, and so
Yeah, it's kind of I feel like we're just sort of back to the drawing board as a team and also like me and you as commentators on this team because I just don't know. I don't really know what to make of this team right now. They just looked excellent a week ago in Atlanta and they started off the season 3-0, but this is four games this year where at least part, if not all of the team has looked terrible. And the previous three losses, at least the score was close enough to make you think that there's still something here, and I still do like a lot of this team. But I think besides what I started off this segment with as the biggest takeaway for me, the biggest takeaway is when DK is not out there, defenses are not afraid of this receiving cord stretching them deep because they were playing up close to the line of scrimmage all game, and we just, I thought Grubb was doing a pretty good job in a couple drives. Mostly, I think the ones where we got close to scoring but didn't end up finishing,
mhm.
of just getting some creative ways to get guys open. But they were just like, yeah, you are not going to beat us deep. And we are going to play close to the line of scrimmage to stop the run, and you're just not going to be able to do anything about it. And it was true. I mean, think of that screenplay that they blew up so bad they turned it into an interception. Like
Yeah.
that was just rough.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I had a train of thought there about oh yes. It's kind of funny how when the season started, I felt like we were closer to the Niners. And granted, record wise, this isn't going to make a whole lot of sense, but just bear with me here. It's funny how like I feel like we're a lot similar to like the Cardinals the way we're playing, even though the Cardinals are winning the division. Like we've been so up and down week to week. I just like I can't get a grasp on like what we're good at, I guess.
Yeah. It's not
Um
running the ball, that's for sure.
yeah, and I guess it's not stopping the run either. So I don't know. I think like we were saying a couple years ago about a couple weeks ago about Mike McDonald right after our third straight loss is I think this is just going to take longer than we expected to kind of evaluate him and what he does for us. Kind of similarly to what they're doing over in Arizona with Buckle Up. Um, the sample size has been kind of small, but he's got them leading the division right now. So
Yeah.
I'm not willing to, you know, jump ship on Mike McDonald. Not even close.
No, I think I mean it's like look, it's not like a Nathaniel Hackett situation or what was the guy's name from the Denver Ryan Gase, I think.
Adam Gase.
Adam Gase, yeah. It's not a situation where it's like so or Urban Meyer where it's so obvious that this coach is you can tell when someone's not going to make it through one season as a
Right.
coach. If you think that we're dealing with that here with McDonald, like you I don't know what your deal is because that doesn't make any sense. You have to remember Kyle Shanahan started off like 7 and like 20 something or worse than that as the head coach of the 49ers. Pete Carroll himself went 7 and 9 twice his first two seasons.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a while to get these things going. And it's not going to be an overnight change, even though we were 9 and 8 the last two seasons. There's been a complete upending of the coaching staff with this team, and it's clear that they're still trying to figure things out. But what's I guess the biggest indictment that the coaching staff needs to do a better job is that it's the same things we're seeing come up in a bad way on offense and defense. On offense, this is and again, this is something we've kind of seen for 2 years straight now is this line cannot run block. It can't run block at all. And so when you get in those short yardage situations that we failed miserably in,
Mm-hmm.
you can't score because you're literally losing yardage trying to gain a yard. It's so frustrating. And then on defense, what are we doing as far as scheme and execution goes with stopping the run? Because I see plays where you have your defensive tackles lined up in the B gap, and then you have your linebackers lined up directly behind them. And it's like, okay, well, the A gap right up the middle is wide open. So clearly teams are going to run there and they're doing it. And then you have plays where they're, put in a good position to succeed. And then the linebackers just completely fuck the play up or something like that. So it's like a combination of dumb coaching spots at times, dumb scheme. And then when they do it right, the players like their brain falls out of their ass and it just keeps happening. So I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take, but it's it's funny. Again, I feel like I keep bringing this up too. Like I feel like we're seeing a lot of the same problems from the last couple of Carroll seasons show up with this team, even though we just got a brand new linebacker in Ernest Jones. And I got to say, not a great debut. I know he got a lot of tackles, but the first down the Bills got at this game, being at the game, you can see plays develop really clearly. And I was just
Mm-hmm.
like, before Josh Allen even like looked at Kincaid, I was like, Ernest Jones just got toasted by Kincaid, and then he hit him for like a 28-yard throw, and like it's so not a great debut. Hopefully, with more time in our system, we can figure it out. But yeah, I think the line and the linebackers are really sinking this team's playoff ambitions right now. But I guess to kind of summarize all of my thoughts for this game against the Bills is think of the last few times where we've played a premier team in the NFL. I guess specifically here, AFC teams. You got the Chiefs in 2022, I believe, or was that last year? No,
It's
that's
last
2022.
year. Or no.
It was 2022 because we played the whole AFC West that year. So the
Okay.
Chiefs that year, the Ravens last year, the Bills this year. I think you would say of the last, like 4 or 5 years here, those are the three AFC teams. All of them beat us by 3 scores. And it was never close in any of those contests. And I just think that just kind of shows like that's how far we are right now from really being a contender.
Yeah, I think it starts and ends with the line. And honestly, like I know Gino didn't, it wasn't all his fault, but I just think we are so limited with him leading this offense that I just think we probably skip another year getting a quarterback, probably just try and draft offensive line. Um, because otherwise I just kind of see a 9 or 10 win ceiling year in and year out.
Yeah, we're definitely kind of stuck in the middle there, with the way things stand right now. I think if we were to get the line figured out, you'd see Gino do a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Because anytime he's gotten adequate protection and DK's been healthy, I mean, he's literally leading the league in passing yards right now. Granted, that's largely due to the game scripts we've been facing because we've been behind and throwing the ball a lot and we can't run. But I think he's shown that, like, is he a guy that can absolutely elevate a team when nothing else is working? Like, no, but there's like three quarterbacks that can do that.
Mm-hmm.
A and B, like with without a running game and with like some of the worst, like I saw a stat today that the teams that have spent the fewest amount of money on the line are like us, the Saints, and I think the Giants and one other team, and all the other teams in the bottom forward spending are 2 and 6 and have like the 25th or worst pass protection. So it's like it's very clear talking to John Schneider here. When you ignore the offensive line, you're just gonna be bad. You can't get by without attacking that position group
Right.
anymore. We've had some bad luck with injuries, but I kind of don't accept that as an excuse. I mean, we're going on like 8 years if you're, you know, not even being generous. Like, when's the last time we had a good offensive line? 2014, maybe
Yeah.
2018. It was, oh, they could at least run block in 2018, but
Well,
uh,
at that point, you can just start pointing the finger at John Schneider then, because he's the one who traded Max Unger away in 2014, and he's the one that's neglected the line for 8 years now. So,
yeah, I mean, to be honest, like the last three draft classes, I've really liked under Schneider, this year included. But uh, you go back to all of his work as a GM from 2021 back to like really 2013, and it's kind of amazing he's still here because I feel like the excellent quarterback play we've had in a lot of those seasons and some just clutch wins and tight moments have really masked how bad this roster construction has consistently been for a long time. So we've had a few good draft classes here, but even our good players from the last few drafts like Wool and Witherspoon, I thought they had a terrible game yesterday. I thought
mm-hmm.
they were like, you're at home, you got the crowd noise on your side, and you are this is a game you should be hyped up for. And I felt like they just looked terrible. And it's maybe we're dealing with the Witherspoon sophomore slump this season, like we did with Woolen, but I just feel like I haven't seen him make a single impact play in weeks, maybe kind of the whole season.
Yeah, you think that has anything to do with adjusting to new schemes or anything like that? Because I've pretty much the thing I've noticed about him is how he just kind of goes invisible. Um, and that really wasn't happening last year. We were seeing him
Yeah,
make big plays every game. I'm just not seeing that this time
I
around.
my thought is maybe it's been because he's been playing as a true outside corner more, and he made a lot of his big plays last year as the slot guy. I don't know. I don't have the exact numbers on that alignment in front of me, but that's kind of what I feel like I've been seeing out there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he got targeted like 9 times in this Bills game, I want to say, and he gave up like 8 catches or something like that. So it's just he's not getting after the ball like he was last season for sure. So
Yeah.
I hopefully we figure this thing out, man, because we got the Rams coming to town this weekend, and if we drop another conference game, another division game, with the division being as tight as it is, it's really hard to see things changing. But I guess luckily for us, nobody in this division has a winning record right now, so it's not over. There's no reason to lose hope, but got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't love our chances after this past weekend, and I just think consistency is something we're lacking, and I don't really see us getting out of this hole we've dug ourselves with this shitty offensive line play. I think it.
There
I
is
just have no
so
confidence in them at all.
so George Fant and Abraham Lucas are both slated to be back in the next couple of weeks here. Abraham Lucas, they're trying to get him back after the bye week, which I think is in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So there's reason to think that it might get a little better. But yeah, but neither of those guys I think are going to play guard, so it's not going to get a whole lot better, but
Right.
it's Abraham Lucas in particular has shown that when he plays for this team, it really does make a difference for our offense.
Yeah, and I mean, I agree with you. I'm just like, when is he coming back? Because it's been like since week one of last year since he's been on the field.
He came back for a little bit last season and then they pulled him again, but yeah, I mean it's almost been like 2 years of this health situation with Lucas. They've really taken their time with him because I've seen videos of him running and stuff since the summer. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully this extra healing time they've given him actually makes a difference. But they're saying after the bye they're gonna get him out there, and I just hope we can at least be 500 by that point, because if
Mm-hmm.
we get him back and maybe a guy like Nuosu comes back and can help out with the run defense, if we're 500 at that point, I think we would at least have a chance. But yeah, we just got to survive these next few games. So Rams one's going to be tough, man. Now that Puka and Cooper Kupp are back, I guess we'll save that for the game preview. But
Yeah.
we're I'm not like slamming the panic button right now, simply
Mm-hmm.
because like there's no team in this division that's like 6-2 or something like that. But um, it's it's kind of getting to go time here really fast.
Yeah, let's see. Who do we have after? So after the Rams is the bye week. Then we have the Niners again.
Okay.
Then the
Well,
Cardinals.
I'm actually really glad we have our bye week after this Rams game, because if we do lose, like, and we get Lucas back, then that gives us a chance to like pretty quickly turn around and pull this thing together.
Yeah. I don't really have too much more to say on the game. I was thinking we could probably do the preview pod on like Wednesday or something.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Cool.
It's looking like, I guess one last thing I'll say about our schedule is beginning of December is when we play the Jets, and the way things are going, they might have nothing to play for by then. So that makes me feel better about that game at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, because we have Cardinals, Jets, and Cardinals again.
Yeah, I mean, our next five
Packers,
games here,
Vikings, Bears, Rams.
I think you could make a pretty strong argument that the next five games are going to completely decide the NFC West, because we play four divisional games within 5 weeks there. So really, just depending on how that goes, like that's the whole season right there, really. Because
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's much point in worrying about wild card stuff at this point, because there's so many NFC teams that have a better conference record than us, since we've already dropped three conference games. That's going to be
Right.
tough to make up. But yeah, I guess that's kind of all I had to say about the Bills game. It's terrible. Don't Really disappointing to have the game of the week on Fox with Tom Brady commentating and come out and play like that. It's to be losing 31-3 at one point. Just terrible.
Well, it was weird too because the game was close up until late second quarter. It was just a 4 point swing, and then it just fell apart so fast that it was 31-3.
I think not getting a touchdown those two times on the 2 yard line just sucked the soul out of the stadium, because you could feel it. I mean, when that
Yeah.
snap went over Gino's head, I was literally standing there like for about 30 seconds, and I looked down, and my uncle's looking at me just dying laughing. It was probably objectively hilarious from his point of view,
Yeah.
but
That's awful.
Yeah, I felt like Matt Nagy on the Bears when they missed that 30-yard field goal to lose in the playoffs. But anyways,
All right. Well, we'll catch up and pick this up again on Wednesday, probably.
yep. Let's hope we get back into the win column soon because these reaction vids after the losses are getting old, man.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not fun.
No. All
All right.
right.
Well, we'll see you guys on later in the week.
Yep. Catch you next time.